Most of the work I do with companies never becomes public. I run workshops for leadership teams, HR teams, boards across different industries. The work is confidential. The challenges are sensitive. The conversations happen behind closed doors. But last year, we did something different. We ran 2 AI workshops in public. Same topic, same starting process, same department, same kinds of people in the room. But we changed one thing. The first question we asked. I wanted to see what would happen. Would the outcomes be different? And how different? Here is what we found. Most companies who come to me about AI are not asking big philosophical questions. They are asking practical ones. Where do we start? What's realistic? How do we avoid wasting time on the wrong tools? Workshop 1 is built for that moment. We picked a process everyone understands. Recruitment screening, applications come in. Someone filters them. Recruiter reads CVs, checks LinkedIn, makes a shortlist, books interviews. We map the process step by step, 8 steps on the board. Then we ask the team, where does it hurt? They wrote down the pain points. Too many applications, they all look the same. AI-generated CVs, bias, wasted time, tech problems. Then they picked the step they wanted to fix. They picked step 4, the step where recruiter looks at a candidate's social media, that behavior online matches the company's values. Then we showed them what AI can actually do. Not products, but capabilities, not tools. For example, AI can search and find things, group and sort things, spot patterns, summarize large amount of content. The team took each of those capabilities and asked one question. Could this help us screen social media better? And from there, they built solution concepts. Now, workshop 2 had the same starting point, recruitment screening process. Similar people in the room, smart, experienced, practical. But this time, we didn't start with the process at all. In fact, we deliberately stayed away from it. We started with 3 questions. Who are we doing this for? What is the goal? Why are we doing this? And what does success actually look like? The team's first answer surprised them. Who is recruitment actually for? Not HR, not the recruiter. Maybe the CEO. Then they all settled on the hiring manager. The person who will have to work with whoever gets hired. The person who pays the price if you hire the wrong person. Then the goal. Not process application faster, something quite different. Find candidates who will actually succeed in the job, not just candidates who look good on paper. Success looked like this: the right skills, the right fit, the right experience, the real fit with the team, someone who can do the work, not someone who writes a good CV. Only then did we ask, what's stopping you from getting there? And that question changed everything. The team noticed something early on. Someone said it out loud. CVs aren't really helping us anymore. They listed why. Most CVs today are written by AI. They all sound the same. Keyword searches miss good candidates. Recruiters introduce their own bias, and candidates who pass the first round often fail in the second round anyway, because the CV never told you what actually mattered. So they asked a different question. What if the problem isn't the CV? What if the problem is that we're trying to check facts on a piece of paper when we could be giving candidates real situations where we can see what they can actually do? Then the team did something Workshop 1 never did. They looked outside of recruitment. They looked at a dating app called Keeper.ai, which matches people by personality and values, not by CVs. They looked at Plum.io, which tries to predict how someone will perform in a job. They looked at Codility, which tests coding skills by letting you code, not by reading about it. They even looked at how Microsoft Teams Copilot summarizes meeting, or how Tesla AI talks to customers on the phone. This is the move most teams miss. They stay inside their industry, inside their team, inside just that process that they are trying to fix. But the best ideas usually come from somewhere completely different. A dating app turned out to be exactly the right place to look for recruitment ideas. Because dating apps don't screen you out with documents. They match you based on who you actually are. Then the team brought the AI capabilities in and built their solution concepts. The outcomes? Here they are. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's look at what each team actually built. From workshop 1, here are some examples. One concept was called Anomaly Hunter, an AI that scans a candidate's social media and flags anything that doesn't match their CV. Another one was called Candidate Scout, an AI agent that searches social media on its own and recommends who should move to the next round. Look at what these have common. Every single concept Workshop 1 built lives inside that one step, social media screening. That's it. They made that step smarter, faster, more objective. They never left that step. Now look at what Workshop 2 built. One concept was called AI role-play interview. The candidate is put into a realistic work scenario with AI characters. They show how they would actually do the job. No hiding behind the CV. Another one was called Whisperer. It sits with the hiring manager during the interview itself. Surface information real time. Helps them ask better questions. Look at the pattern. Every concept Workshop 2 built is about something completely different. It's about the fit. Does this person actually meets or matches the job? Will they succeed with this team? Do they have the real skill, not just the claim to it? Now, if you put the two side by side, Workshop 1 built a better social media scanner. Workshop 2 built a completely different way to figure out who should get the job. Same starting process, same AI capabilities, same kind of people in the room, very different outcomes. The real point is this. The difference between these two workshops is not that one team was smarter than the other. It's not that the workshop 2 people were more creative. They weren't. The difference is structural. The people in workshop 1 could not have built what workshop 2 built. It was not possible. Not because they lacked skill, but because they were answering a completely different question. Workshop 1's question was, how do we make social media screening better? Workshop 2's question was, how do we find candidates who actually succeed in the job? You can answer the first question for a year and never arrive at the second one. The answers live in different universes. This is why the question you start with matters so much. More than the people, more than the tools, more than the AI. You know the old story of the blind man and the elephant? One touches the trunk and says it's a snake. One touches the leg and says it's a tree. One touches the ear and says it's a fan. They're all right in a way. They're also all completely wrong. Workshop 1 was touching the trunk. They got really good at describing the trunk. They built some excellent trunk improvement tools. But they never knew there was an elephant. That's what happens when you zoom in before you zoom out. The step you're trying to fix might be real. The pain might be real. The improvements might be real. But you'll never know if you're fixing the right thing because you never looked at the full elephant. Now, I want to be careful here. Workshop 1 is not wrong and Workshop 2 is not better. For many companies, Workshop 1 is exactly where the right place to start. It's practical, it builds confidence. People walk out with things they can actually build. It turns weeks of AI debate into real progress. That matters a lot. But Workshop 1 has limits. When you start with a process and ask, how do we make this step better? The biggest answer you can find is a better version of what you already do. Workshop 2 does not have that limit because it doesn't start with the process. It starts with the goal. What are you actually trying to achieve? And that's why most people don't do Workshop 2. It's harder. It asks questions that people have been avoiding for years. It makes leaders look at decisions they made a long time ago and never questioned. Sometimes it tells you that the thing you've been optimizing for a decade isn't the thing that you should be doing at all. That's uncomfortable, and it's not for everyone. So what's really different between these two workshops? Workshop 1 zooms in, it picks a step, it makes the step better. It gives you clear wins fast. Workshop 2 zooms out. It asks what the whole thing is for. It takes a bit longer to feel real, but when it gets there, the ideas are built on completely different ground. Both are valid, both create real value. The question is not which one is better, it is which one your organization is ready for. If you are at the start of your AI journey, Workshop 1 is probably the right place to begin. You'll come out with clear ideas and real progress. If you have been doing AI for a while and you're noticing the gains are getting smaller, if you're starting to wonder whether you're optimizing things that shouldn't exist in the first place, then Workshop 2 is what you need. Honestly, every single time I run a workshop with a client, we get stuck in the same place. We get lost in the detail. We zoom in when we should be zooming out. We make the existing process better when we should be asking if the process is still the right one. I know this sounds simple and everyone says, step back, look at the big picture, ask better questions. But when you are in the room with pressure, with deadlines, with a process that already exists, it's impossible to do on your own. That's why I ran these 2 workshops in public, to show with actual evidence what happens when you change only one thing, the first question you ask. AI doesn't create that clarity. It amplifies the clarity that already exists in the room. If you only want to optimize, AI will optimize. If you're willing to rethink and reimagine, AI will help you with that too. That's the choice. And these workshops are built to help leaders make it on purpose. I hope you find that useful. Thank you.